Woo! Gonna pinch the family jewels down there. Whew. All right. So we're just working up to a top set of 6. What's going on, guys? Just doing a sort of overview of my phase 2 of full stack. So we are 7 going on 8 months of bulking right now, which has been a really fun time. I love bulking, love feeling strong. It hasn't been a very intense bulk from a calorie perspective, more so just trying to get as much lean mass as I possibly can. So in this amount of time, I've put on about 10 pounds. I'm sitting at 204, started around 188 to 192 pounds, kind of fluctuating there. Currently fluctuating between 199, 198, upwards of 204 sometimes. But that said, my lifts are going up. Phase 1 of full stack was a good time. Was able to put on a good amount of mass, I believe. You can check out some of the photos, I'll post them here. Specifically more just like arms and upper body. That's been like the biggest focus. My legs are plenty strong and they're not really something that I've wanted to push extremely hard this phase. My upper body is lagged for a really long time. So goals by the end of this year are 2 plates for dips, 2 plates for pull-ups, benching, like repping out, hopefully I would love 5 reps for 225. I've only been able to get singles on 225 for a while now. So if I could rep that out, that'd be really fun. Maybe even get a single at 250. The way my percentages are running, I could hopefully get up there. If you're in a bulk, everything tends to like continue to trend up. It's hard to mess up this stuff, but yeah, just kind of tell you guys a little bit more about full stack as I go through this. I'm doing some weighted pull-ups. I've been doing neutral grip with these Kintsugi handles for 6 months now, I would say. And my pull-ups have kind of stagnated a bit, but I'm also getting heavier. I've added 10, 12 pounds to my body. So, I mean, that's what happens when you're bulking and training pull-ups. But I'm switching to a wider grip now. Just to change it up a little bit, a little bit more of the lats versus kind of just this neutral grip a lot of the times hits more of the biceps. But I hit my top set at 50 pounds for wide grip. I'm just testing this out this week for the most part. Hit 50 pounds. I know I'm doing a back off of 10%. And so I have 45 pounds underneath me, 25, 10, and a 10. My small little rack. I can't do a full 45 without it like tapping the floor. So hoping to get 6. This is my 3rd set of these, and then we'll get into the next exercise. Five. Little fight for that last one. Could probably do better. I've got a custom pull-up bar on here and it is a little slick. So that is one thing. I might need to get some chalk or some kind of grip on there maybe, but I'll take that, right? 6 reps, wide grip. I have not hit wide grip really in years. That's not even wide grip, but like traditional pull-ups in years. They've been neutral grip for a long time. Mainly just because I was seeing such good progress with neutral grip. I just wanted to get as much out of it as I possibly could. Now to the point where I'm like, my lats have become really developed. Like they're looking really good. So hopefully I can get a little bit more upper back with this. And yeah, kind of see where it takes me. We're gonna move into some super heavy weighted scapular depressions. I wanna get into a little bit more like muscle up training. I have a client. I've done a couple of muscle ups, but at 200 pounds, have not attempted it in like, honestly, since my shoulder stopped. So it's been years since doing muscle ups. But a client of mine, she's been wanting to do muscle ups and it's kind of got me back wanting to get into that stuff. So wide grip with this and scapular depressions, just trying to beef up the shoulders, beef up the back a little bit so that way we can get back into that stuff. So we're definitely gonna be using a little bit heavier weight for that. So starting with 70 pounds, I haven't done these in a really long time. I think I can do probably 2 plates, but we're trying to work it up because this is so slick. I'm gonna try it with some straps and see what that does. But I mean, pretty simple move, right? It's just scapular depressions, just to work on that variability at the shoulder a bit. I'm gonna go about shoulder width here. That's a little better. There we go. Just coming up. 1, this is too easy. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Good stretch. 8. I wonder if it would be harder if I took my feet off the floor. I'm not really pressing with them, but yeah, not bad at all. It actually feels really good on my shoulders. When I'm doing these, I don't like to be super extended. I remember doing these way back in the day, and I would be extremely extended and like more, honestly, just treating them more like a scap retraction in a lot of ways versus the depression aspect. I just feel like much more of a stretch with those ribs down as I get there, that kind of upward rotation happening. I don't want to get the 45s, but I also do not like having all these plates pinching my thighs. So we're gonna try 2 plates. Again, just a lot of testing. Be loud. 2 plates. So yeah, just trying to get really jacked. Goal is to be 210 or 200 pounds and about, like 12% body fat. Be super nice. Then if I could run a sub 60 second 400 meter dash at that weight, repping out 225 on bench, watch out. But honestly, guys, I'm just happy to lift pain-free and just have a good time, rip some weights. Most of y'all following the channel probably here because of all my chronic pain and posture tips. But we lift a lot because that's the gold standard and what is actually gonna add length, longevity, and just improve your overall livelihood. Here we go, this feels good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Was that 8? One more, just for good measure. 8. Can definitely add some more weight to that. It is just a pain in the butt getting these things on. Whew. One other thing I'd like to add, why I'm programming this, is also as like a sort of isometric of sorts. So in phase 2 of this program, we're doing a lot of overcoming isometric. So bench press overcoming isometric, just to really get the nervous system involved, pump some extra strength, that, just making sure we're not leaving anything on the table. Nervous system will buffer a lot of times. Think you do X amount of reps with a certain weight, and if someone had a gun to your head, you'd probably do 5, 10 more reps, right? So there's always more that's there. And I think of those overcoming isometrics, it's really just kind of an experiment. Usually people put them at the beginning of an exercise like the bench press to ramp up the nervous system, kind of warm you up. But I'm trying to think of it more as really get everything I can off the table, and work through some sticking points too, when it comes to the exercise specifically. So it's a bit of an experiment. I don't know anyone that's really done overcoming isometrics after they're fatigued, right? They've done a lift. But this is kind of my variation of that. Though it's not overcoming, it's more of a yielding isometric. Just try to get accustomed to holding that weight, right? And knowing what that feels like. There's probably times when you've done bench press, you've done a lift, and it's like, wow, you picked that up. You're like, I don't know if I can move with this. So if I can accommodate my body to that a little bit more, that heavier weight, what it's like to feel that traction, feel that weight, and know, hey, I can at least get this with my scaps, and then started leading me into some other movements. Just kind of a way how my brain is working and trying some of this stuff out. So let's hit the third set. So we got 90 pounds. What does that take it up to? 115? Something like that? I think that's 115. Woo! Gonna pinch the family jewels down there. All right, let's lift this up. Hopefully this doesn't wake up the baby. Whew. All right. Definitely gonna use the straps. This stuff feels so good on my back. I gotta say, it just tractions all this at my lower back. Sometimes it gets tight, especially when I'm about to go into these RDLs. That'll actually be an interesting experiment because we got some RDLs after this. But yeah, it just feels nice. I love that kind of like compression around the pelvis. It just feels good to me, and I feel taller after I do stuff like this. Okay, let's go for 8. See what happens. Oh yeah, it feels great. I'm gonna go big toes down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is always so impressive just how much leverage and strength is in these little bitty muscles. You know, I always have to remind myself, like so much stronger than you realize when you do stuff like this. And you just wouldn't think that you could pump that much weight, but man, it's like I can probably add a whole nother plate to that and feel my scaps like working really well. I might pay for it. I think I'm going to be pretty sore because this is novel and everything. But yeah, that's a fun movement. I forgot about these. My days in PRI, functional patterns, I have to reprogram myself to doing stuff like this because I always thought if I worked my upper back, I would close off that area, which I wouldn't be able to get as much posterior expansion, which is just silly now that I think back to that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's nice to just work the whole body, like get some of the stuff back in here, work areas that you kind of have some beliefs around, and that just, make you a little nervous in some ways. For some of you watching this, it could be flexion of the spine, right? You might be a little bit nervous of that. I know for me, I got taken the other way with PRI, and I was worried to work extension of the spine. I'm like, man, do both. It doesn't really matter. Just have a good time. Get strong both ways. All right, so we're hitting some RDLs now. Warmed up a little bit with 135. Now we're hitting 225. PR around this time last year, I hit 405, or I actually think I took it to 410. Yeah, it was like 410 pounds for 3 reps. I was working with Matt. So sticking to higher reps throughout all this, because again, I want more of that hypertrophy stimulus, whereas last year it was just pure strength that I was going for. So I'm hanging out with the full stack program around 6 to 8 reps for the most part. Lots of just focusing on the tempo, not trying to grip and rip too much. So we might probably, depending on how these things feel, I'd love to be repping 6 reps, maybe even 8 reps, 405. That'd be super cool by the end of this. Did have to take a little bit of a break a couple weeks ago where I kind of tweaked my knee playing some golf. I hit 365 for 8 reps on RDLs and then went and played 18 holes immediately after. And my body just decided to swell my knee up on me. But that is all handled now. We're feeling good. And that deload really helped. Phase 1, you have the option, you can run it like I did. I technically ran phase 1 for almost 3 months. And the reason why is just because it was working. The weights just continued to keep going up. And that's something in the past where I've just changed things up far too quickly. I just would lose my gains. But I did my actual first deload, like legit deload, dropped all the weights, 50%, some even like 75%. Just went through the reps, and partially because I just didn't have a lot of time last week to work out, just with the kid and all that stuff. And then two, my body, like I took the knee as sort of a sign, like, okay, I've pushed this enough. I've been going, I've been seeing gains, but starting to just accumulate a little bit of fatigue here. Calories were a little off that week too. Yeah, just took that off and it went really well. Like coming in here last week to play around with some of this stuff, felt really good, felt really strong, putting up some good numbers. And then, you know, just continuing to test this stuff out a little bit more. But yeah, I would say the only thing that has not gone up and gone the direction I would like it to are my front squats. Been hanging around 185 to 225 with those. My PR is 252 pounds, something like that, for 3 reps. But man, that was freaking hard. I'd love to get that to 315, but that's sort of lift I just don't really care about all that much. It's a good lift, but I just don't care about it in this phase. Like I'd much rather see my upper body lifts go up that much higher. Take this up. So we're just working up to a top set of 6. Quick little 4. All right, so we've got 365 loaded back up on here. Again, I kind of looked at 365 as the line in the sand. Haven't hit this weight in a couple weeks just because of the knee. So we'll see how it goes. I think it'll be fine. Like I said, I hit this for 8. I know I can do more, but just to keep my body happy, not looking to make huge gains again with this phase 2. Probably gonna extend this out as long as I can. So minimum of 8 weeks. This is technically week 2 of sorts. It'll all be in the app appropriately. If I can build this up, you know, keep adding 10 pounds each week over the course of 6 more weeks, you know, that's not bad at all. So yeah, we're gonna go for 6 reps here. Okay, there we go, baby. Oh yeah, got a little sloppy there at the end. You know, could have probably warmed up a little bit more to that one and better in general, but gotta do what you gotta do. Plus you guys are watching. I'm just a little nervous, that's all it is. But yeah, happy with that. We'll see what that does in the coming weeks. But gonna do a back off of 10% on these. So taking off 36 pounds, something like that. And then gonna hit 2 more sets. Lots of back off sets, because I found that those have been super helpful. Able to, like, you know, do some ugly reps like that on a set of 6, but you're really fresh. And then you back off for the other 2 to 3 sets, get really good form, get your technique down, and that good hypertrophy stimulus. So those have worked really well. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Check out Full Stack, link down in the description. Free 7-day trial to try the WallFit app, plus the 7 other programs I have in there. So yeah, check that out. Hopefully you learned something from this. I'll do some more vlog style stuff in the future. See ya.